Hello and welcome to the Access Manufacturing Machine Shop here in Spokane, Washington. Today we're going to be able to do a walkthrough through the shop, be able to take a look at the retail side of what they offer, as well as going from a 0% piece of aluminum all the way to a completed rifle. So take a walk with me, let's go through the shop and see what that looks like. We are right now in the retail part of Access Manufacturing. If you look at the walls here, they have everything from rails, barrels, triggers, buttstocks, everything you might need to be able to get your perfect AR-15. So there's also a huge selection of firearms you could take a look at to see what might fit your need best. So Access Manufacturing is actually a firearms manufacturer, so you could have fully customized builds here done in their shop. So right now we're starting with a solid block of aluminum. This is what's referred to as a 0%. It is just a plain piece of aluminum. We're gonna load it onto these machines, get some of like those footage of how that gets cut, and then I'll show you kind of the next step of the process of what this thing is gonna look like. So we are actually standing next to Justin, who is the owner of Access Manufacturing, and even throughout the weekends, he's programming and putting blocks together. So we're gonna take a look at where he's holding in regards to this low receiver.
So right now, we actually, guys kind of caught us right in the middle of setting up our next run. So what we have is we have a 70-75 block of aluminum that has been dovetail cut to fit in our small little self-centering vices. We'll go ahead and rough the profile out, and then we'll go ahead and complete it to this stage right here.
Oh wow.
And so you notice the dovetails right there. That allows us to be able to put a lot of tool pressure and remove material extremely fast.
So you can already see all those tooling marks and how precise that machine is. There's no magazine well yet. There's no trigger area yet cut out. This is just like the next step in the process.
Yeah, and we actually, in this machine, a lot of guys will send their receivers out to have them broached in the specific machine. But we actually have a set of tools that actually we do the broaching inside the machine. These two vices will be set back up with different fixtures to hold the reverse of it upside down like this. We'll remove what we call the hat here, and then we'll finish up all the detail work on the other side.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then from there, we'll put it in a fourth axis to do the buffer tube and all the other little drill holes that we need to do there as well.
Is there a specific process that this referred to as, like, are there two different variations of how a machine is able to put a part together? Like I know there's billet, and then there is, what's the other one?
The forged. So
forged, what's the difference between the two?
So this right here is from a solid stock of aluminum. So a forged is actually squeezed out, believe it or not, a round bar stock, and it's squeezed at about 70,000 PSI in a machine. Into the rough shape of it, and then we'll go ahead and complete that in the machine as well, which we do as well.
And so this one is better how? This is what?
There's no stresses on it. It's completely stress-free. The other thing is that we can control, as you saw, the mating surface to the upper receivers as well. So that's why we prefer billet. We've got some other stuff coming out in the 9mm version as well, and it'll maintain and do the same process. So,
awesome. Yep. Okay, so let's take a look at what the next step of this entire process looks like. So we're back into the workshop now, and we have a completed lower receiver that's not only completed, but also went through the anodizing process. So this is already completely a firearm, and we're gonna take a look at this one.
Yeah, so we actually have these anodized local over at Novation. They do an amazing job for us. They're glass bead blasted, and we get the ultimate surface finish there. They're super smooth, and I've got pretty high standards for that as well. So all of our lower receivers will come with a bolt pin, or the bolt catch pin right here.
Which is so much more convenient for assembly.
And we actually include the Allen wrench, which most companies don't, little 1/16 inch Allen wrench. And then we also have the take-up slug, which really in our billet uppers, or lowers and uppers, you really don't need, but we do provide it anyways in case there is any kind of slop there, which we definitely make sure that there isn't any. So. And you can
see it does come with the integrated trigger guard. It also widened as well, so if you have gloves on or anything like that, it works out.
They call that a winner's trigger guard, yeah. So we incorporate that into it as well.
So between that and having an easier assembly time, because it's a screw process as opposed to the manual tapping and smacking of your lower receiver, it already makes it a much easier process to be able to use.
Yeah, we want to make it as easy as possible for the end user and the guys that do the building themselves at home. So beyond that, all the tolerances are to the highest tolerance or the highest spec that we can get. So everything is reamed out. All these pinholes are reamed. When we do the buffer tube, we check it against multiple other manufacturers like SBA or SB Tactical. and other companies that manufacture buffer tubes. So we've got a good spec on that so that everything fits really nice and tight.
So what we'll do now is let's go collect kind of all the parts that you need to fully assemble an AR-15, and then we'll see how all those parts come together, and like maybe which ones we chose and why we chose them. Starting with the upper receiver, we're going to go through all the parts that we'll need. We're looking to put together a 11.5-inch upper. So with that, we have Ballistic Advantage barrels that they have in stock. This is the lowest quality barrel that they offer, which if you know, Ballistic Advantage barrels are really, really, really good. So that being kind of like their lower standard really gives you an understanding of how much they care about the products that they're offering. So we have this barrel right over here. Yep. This is an 11.5-inch Ballistic Advantage barrel. Yep. And then for the rail, what are you thinking?
So we're gonna go with the 10.5 rail right here.
Okay, so we have that, and also with the muzzle brake, that's going to protrude more. That's going to be able to
get you a little bit more options. So if you want to add a suppressor on there or any other kind of adapter, you can go ahead and do that as well.
So we have that. So then we also going to need the gas block.
Yep. And so we offer them in 2 different versions. We have our black, and then we also have our satin stainless steel. Most people opt for the black one. So it's nitride coated. Then we also have a selection of gas tubes, and we have those and melanite coated, and then just our standard. So we'll go with the melanite coated one for you.
Perfect. And then we're going to need our lower parts kit. Yep. So we have our standard lower parts kit.
We got a standard lower parts kit here. It does include a winter trigger guard because some of our guys like to do the forged as well, but we're not going to need that in this build because you're going to do the billet.
Yep.
So we've got that guy right there. We're going to go with the charging handle. We have our standard charging handles here. And then we've got some Radian Weapons charging handles. We really like those, so that would be your choice there. Let's just go with one of ours for right now.
Yeah. And then we have, you guys also have your own bolt carrier groups.
Yes, we do. We've got those guys.
One of those out.
Let's grab one of those for you. So we've got these guys here. These are our bolt and carrier groups. They're heavy nitride coating. They are lifetime guarantee. We don't say warranty because guarantees it's going to work for you. So.
What are the costs of this bolt carrier group?
So right now we actually have them on sale for $84.99. Yeah, they're normally $129.99, but we've got a really
and that's still below standard.
Yeah, and we've got a really good deal going on right now. We guarantee them, as you saw this last weekend shooting, how much abuse they will take and just keep on going. So
okay, so we have the bolt carrier group. Yep. And then what else we're gonna need? We're gonna need our buffer. And buffer tube?
Yep, so we've got a full kit right there. We kind of package it all up in one, list you out what you need. It's a standard carbine buffer tube setup.
And it goes through, it includes the casting nuts and end plates and everything else you need.
Yep.
Perfect.
Everything's mil spec. We don't do anything commercial here as well.
So we'll bring that up.
Yep.
And the last thing we're gonna need is we're gonna go with a brace of some kind.
Yeah, so the SBA4 is probably one of the most popular ones out there. It's a little bit more rigid than the SBA3.
Yeah.
We really like it. It also does include a QD mount as well, so if you want to do single point or dual point mount. So
nice.
Yeah. And then we also have here our billet upper receiver. This one actually happens to be laser marked by Josh, our in-house media guy, who also is very versatile at doing laser engraving as well. Got our marking on the top there. And these are 70-75 machined from a solid block of aluminum as well.
So they really fit with the lower receiver.
Very nice. They match up very nice with our upper receivers as well, or our handguards as well. So.
And then what kind of mounting system do you have between the uppers?
So we have a barrel nut, and the barrel nut comes with a wrench as well. We use a bridge is what we like to call it in here. What that does is it takes a little bit more stress off of the mounting system and it allows it to act as anti-rotation and then takes more stress off the bottom here for clamping forces.
Gotcha.
On the bottom, instead of aluminum on steel, like most guys do, we actually incorporate a helicoil system, and then we have an anti-slip Allen right there as well.
So what that would be is that if a person wants to end up using a night vision setup, this would be a much more rigid system.
Much more rigid system, very rigid. And then we also have anti-rotation tabs on here as well.
Gotcha. So you're really going to be able to maintain zero if you end up putting a Pack 15 or something else.
Exactly, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool, perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so I think that's all the parts that we need.
Yep.
And let's start putting that together. So this is kind of all the parts we're putting together. Ultimately, I think this would be a really cool night vision setup. So we're going to have all those parts coming together. If you'd like to see the full build video and how this comes together, you can come directly to my channel, The Tactical Rabbi, and you'll be able to see the full video there.